Welcome to CinePro, where we bring your favorite movies back to life with quick recaps, hidden detail, and everything you missed. The movie The Slumber Party Massacre begins in the city of Holly Springs in 1993 with a girl named Trish, whom we see running to her car in her pajamas in a deserted area to get herself a drink. But suddenly, a young man named Chad appears behind her, and we learn that they used to be together, but she left him when she found out he was cheating on her. He asks her why she's dressed like that and assumes there are guys with her, but she tells him it's just a weekend party with her girlfriends and that he has no right to interfere in her life because it's over between them. She leaves him and goes back home, where we see her three friends, Cam, Diane, and Jackie, who are celebrating together, especially because Trish left Chad. They are dancing and enjoying their time, but then Chad appears, watching them secretly through the window. Suddenly, he notices another person standing on the other side, gets jealous and goes to yell at him, but can't find him. Suddenly, the person appears behind him holding a power drill and kills him coldly. The girls hear a noise, but the oven timer goes off, so they're happy the cake is ready. Kim goes to get the cake and Jackie eats some of the welcome cake, but she feels a pain in her stomach and starts vomiting. Trish goes to the kitchen to help Kim, but is shocked to find her murdered. She screams and tries to call for help, but the lights go out. She rushes out, calling for Diane and Jackie. Jackie grabs her hand and they hide behind the couch. Jackie, terrified, tells her Diane has been killed and she can't stop vomiting. Trish tries to calm her and says they can get out, but Jackie reminds her their car is broken and there's no other way to escape. Trish suggests sneaking out quietly and asking the neighbor for help. As they prepare to leave, Julie confesses to Trish that she slept with Chad, that she's the girl Trish was looking for, the one he cheated with. She says she had to confess in case she dies and asks for forgiveness. At that moment, Julie suddenly runs out before they're ready, but as soon as she opens the door, the killer is there and slaughters her with the power drill to her neck. Trish is terrified by the scene and runs to the kitchen to hide, but the killer follows her. When their eyes meet, he approaches the door and tries to open it with the drill, but suddenly the drill goes into her hand. She screams and collapses. Before he kills her, she throws a can at him and runs toward the lake. She chases her, but she manages to knock him into the water and throws the drill in too, staying until she's sure he drowned. In 2021, we see a girl named Dana packing her bag to go on vacation for a week with her friend. She hears on the news about the Russian killer who targets girls, and how a 17-year-old girl survived him while she was with her friends in a rented house by the lake. Strangely, no one has ever found his body, and the police concluded that either it decomposed or the lake's wildlife consumed it. Suddenly, Dana's mother approaches her, startling her. Her mother tells her that her friends are outside and warns her not to let anyone know where she is, and to keep her phone on. Dana tells her mother to take care of herself and suggests she go out and change her routine, asking when was the last time she left the house. Her mother nervously replies that she doesn't need a reason to go out, then hugs Dana. Dana quickly leaves and tells her friends not to talk to her mother or she'll stop them from coming. They get in the car and say goodbye to her mom, but the surprise is that from the mark on her hand, we realize she is Trish. She survived the killing. On the way, we see Dana with her three friends, Maeve, Ashley, and Bryn, all excited about the trip. That night, they finally take a break and Maeve asks Dana to check the supplies and food in the car to see if anything is missing. Dana reaches into the back but is startled when someone grabs her hand, making her scream. They all get out of the car, scared, but it's revealed to be Maeve's little sister, who had to sneak in because Maeve refused to let her come. After a vote, they agree to let her join and Alex is very happy, hugging everyone. A while later, their car breaks down on the road, so they stop at a gas station where they meet the attendant who tells them the radiator is broken and he can't get a replacement until tomorrow. They're upset and go inside the station where Bryn notices many missing persons posters and gets scared, joining her friends inside. There they meet Kyle, the manager, and tell her their car broke down and they have nowhere to stay. She tries to send them away, saying the lake is polluted and they won't like it. But when they insist, she reluctantly agrees. At that moment, Maeve goes to a very dirty bathroom, but has no choice. Dana waits for her outside and hears a noise from a nearby house. She approaches to investigate, but is startled by Maeve screaming. She had stepped on something in the bathroom. Dana helps her and they join their friends. Later, Kyle takes them to the house where they'll be staying, but strangely, she takes them to a town called Julius Springs. Alex feels like she's heard the name before and tries to tell the others, but none of them know the place. They arrive at a house near the lake and Kyle warns them not to leave the house, especially at night, and tells them staying inside is safe. That night, the girls are dancing and celebrating their vacation, but Alex clearly regrets joining them. Suddenly, the gas station attendant arrives to tell them he'll fix the car, but is shocked to see someone in front of him. The shock is that it's Russ, who stares at him menacingly. The attendant gets scared and leaves quickly. While the girls are eating, they realize Alex is missing. Alex is seen walking alone in the woods, where she notices a flashlight on the ground. She picks it up and finds the attendant's car with him inside, covered in blood and his eyes gouged out. She runs home terrified and tells the girls to lock the windows. Once calm, she tells them the attendant has been killed and that the place feels familiar. She remembers hearing the same name in the news and recalls the girls who were murdered in the 90s by the mentally ill Russ. But the surprise, which Alex didn't expect, is that the girls already know. They reveal they're here for revenge. They show the weapons they brought and reveal they sabotaged the car to get to the house. But it turns out they've locked themselves in the crime house. Dana tells her they've been planning this trip for a year. In the middle of their conversation, there's a knock, so they become very scared at the door and prepare their weapon. As soon as Dana opens the door, she finds two boys in front of her, John and Matt, who introduce themselves and say they came to spend their vacation with 3 other friends. Alex lets them in and gathers the girls, telling them they must tell the truth. At that moment, Matt notices a knife on the couch and becomes very frightened, taking John and leaving. They realize that he doesn't like the boys, especially since he saw hidden knives. They take him back to their friends, and when they arrive at the house, they refuse to talk about what they saw. One of them goes out to the lake but is surprised when a bottle is thrown at him. He chases the person who threw it, and before he can yell at him, he is surprised by Ross, who tells him he admires him very much and that he came with his friends to know more about his legend. But he didn't expect him to say anything, and he finishes his words, saying he is happy to meet him. But the shock is that Ross doesn't understand anything he says, and all he does is pull out the electric drill and chase the young man, who from the shock falls to the ground and can't walk out of fear. He keeps calling for his friends to help him, but unfortunately Ross kills him at the last moment. At the same time, the boys appear celebrating their vacation, even tearing up the feather pillows and playing together. We see Dana and the rest of the girls heading toward them to warn them about Ross, as they are sure he is still alive. Dana tells Alex that Ross killed 3 of her mother's friends and that she was the only survivor, so they must take revenge. They quickly enter the house, terrified, and try to warn the boys. As soon as the power comes back, they are shocked to find one of the boys killed and Miriam on the ground. At that moment, Dana is forced to tell them the truth and informs them that Ross is still alive and won't rest until he kills them all. John discovers that another friend is missing, so he decides to go out with the rest of the boys to look for him and asks Dana and her friends not to leave the house, promising that they will kill Ross. Each of them takes a weapon and leaves. Of course, this doesn't stop Dana, who also decides to take revenge and encourages the girls to unite and kill Ross to end his evil. Each of them goes out, holding a weapon, determined to take revenge on Ross. Dana asks them to stick together so he can't defeat them. Before she finishes her words, the girls hear a sound and all separate. Dana is shocked by them, and at that moment she is surprised by Ross approaching her, holding the electric drill. She runs toward him with a knife, thinking she can defeat him, but he throws the knife from her hand and keeps chasing her. At that moment, Sean appears with a violin and tells her he will protect her and defend her. She tells him, terrified and afraid for him, to be careful. Suddenly, Ross approaches him, puts the electric drill in his face, and Dana screams when she sees Sean's body, his features unrecognizable, his face just a mass of blood. At that moment, Dana is terrified and keeps running, calling for her friends to save her. She enters the house, terrified and scared, with Ross chasing her. He catches up and manages to wound her with the electric drill. When he opens the door, he notices traces of blood on the ground and keeps following them until he finds a large pool of blood on the floor. When he opens the door, he finds Alex in front of him, and it turns out they set a trap for him. Each of the girls keeps hitting him with the weapon she has. Dana grabs a knife and tells him it's time to take their revenge. He chases her, and out of fear, she falls to the ground, but she manages to get up and stand on her feet again. Before Ross can kill her, she manages to break his drill. He becomes very upset and says he loves her. She responds confidently and coldly that she doesn't love him and slits his throat with the knife. Ross falls to the ground and dies. At that moment, Alex comes out, the knife in her hand, filled with enthusiasm, and keeps stabbing Ross with the knife until she is sure he is dead. They are all happy because they managed to get rid of him and end his legend. The next day, the girls are sitting in front of the house, with Ross's body in front of them. John and Matt see them killing Ross again and aren't convinced that he is dead. John tells Matt he is sure the girls don't like boys, that's why they kill them, and John decides to report them to the police, while they deal with them. Dana asks Bringy to stay next to Ross's body until the police arrive. Bringy covers the body and stands beside it. When she sees Alex, she asks her to watch the body, and Alex stands in front of it, unable even to look at it, or keep standing there. So she goes inside the house. At that moment, Dana asks Ashley if she called the police, but she says there's no signal on her phone. They suspect something is happening that they don't know about. We go to the boys, and Matt appears, opening the freezer to get a cold drink, not noticing that Sean's body is in the freezer. He smells something bad and thinks it's him. John tells him he'll go look for the girls, while Matt goes to shower thinking the smell is from him. Suddenly, someone appears behind him and stabs him in the chest with a metal rod. Matt falls to the ground, dying in his own blood. At the same time, Ashley goes out to fix the car, being the most skilled in that area. Bringy hugs her and asks her to take care of herself. Ashley notices someone under the car and calls Bringy to help her, but unfortunately that person gets into the car, starts the engine, and at that moment, Ashley's hair gets caught, and she is killed. We learn that the fan blades were removed from the car. At that moment, Dana feels movement outside, so she runs to get the weapons, but is shocked to find all the kitchen weapons gone, leaving only a nail gun. A nail hits Maeve in the shoulder. Dana tells them to stay away from the window, but Bringy doesn't listen and tries to see who is attacking them. Suddenly a nail enters her, and she dies instantly. Dana is terrified, approaches her, keeps apologizing for bringing her on the trip, and calls out to Maeve telling her they must fight. Maeve reminds her they have no weapons. Suddenly, nails start flying at them from everywhere, so they hide and try to think of a way to get out of the house. Dana's mind stops thinking because of everything she's been through, and can't believe that after killing Ross, he's still alive. Maeve tells them that whoever is attacking them must be one of the boys trying to imitate Ross, and says they must get out quickly before they are killed. At that moment, Dana thinks and tells them that the boys' car must be working. She asks them to distract Ross until she escapes through the window and gets to the car. Maeve goes out of the house, holding a metal rod, and calls out to Ross, telling him she's not afraid of him. When Dana gets out of the house, she quickly goes inside before she is hit, but she is shocked to see Alex sick and vomiting, so she runs to her and tries to save her. As for Dana, she walks through the forest until she reaches the car, but unfortunately, she doesn't find the key, so she grabs a stick in her hand. At that moment, she's surprised by someone behind her, so she hits him and discovers it's John. She asks him why he wants to kill them, but he is surprised by her words and replies, worried that she will get killed or that Sean will freeze. Dana tells him that they are not behind what's happening, and all they did was kill Ross, but still someone is chasing them and wants to kill them. He tells her he believes her and asks her to drop the stick in her hand and get in the car with him so he can take her. Dana believes him and listens to him, but John gets in the car and drives off, leaving her alone. She is shocked by him and wishes someone would come to help her. We go back to Alex, who is still coming back. She apologizes to Maeve for not listening to her and says she doesn't want to die. Maeve reassures her and says Dana will come back any moment and save them. Suddenly, Dana finds Kai in front of her and tells her about the one chasing her and asks her to save her and her friends. Kai tells her she has lived in this area for years and has never heard of any incidents happening. Dana tells her about her mother, who was on a trip with her friends and survived from under Adras. She tells her she's here for revenge and to get her rights. Suddenly, Dana hits her and asks her to swear. Kai starts crying and says she is an old woman and doesn't know anything about what she's saying. Dana apologizes to her and holds her hand to help her, but suddenly Kai hits her and tells her that Ross is her son and that they were wrong when they tried to show themselves to them and expose their bodies. She breaks down crying and says she tried to save them, but none of them listened to her. Dana tells her that he's an old and wise man and has no right to kill people. Before she finishes her words, Kai stabs her in the stomach with a knife. Dana runs away from her after hitting her with a stick on her leg. After Dana reaches the house, scared and terrified, she calls out to Maeve to open the door for her. Before Kai reaches her, she gets inside, and Maeve realizes that Kai is Ross's mother and knew about all the crimes and is the one killing them after they killed her son. Suddenly, they hear a knock at the door, and Kai appears holding a knife in her hand and breaks the door. They take Alex and try to escape with her. At that moment, Trish appears. Dana is happy to see her and tells her she took her revenge and killed Ross. Trish tells her to take her friends and get back to the car. A fight breaks out between her and Kai, who tries to kill her because she hurt her son. Meanwhile, Dana takes Maeve and Alex to the car and refuses to leave with them, saying she has to go back to save her mother. She goes back inside the house and sees Kai strangling her mother. She hits her and saves her mother from her grip and takes her to the car. Suddenly, Kai comes out holding something in her hand. Maeve warns them, so Trish grabs an iron bar and kills her. She approaches her daughter and hugs her, and thus the legend of Ross ends. If you liked today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive all new updates. See you